Hey, what's up guys? It's Pixelated-Apollo. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys are doing well. And we are back playing Medieval Kingdoms Total War 1212 AD. And this is a 2 versus 2 pitch battle or field battle, whatever you want to call it. And I also want to let you guys know that they recently updated this mod. So if you don't have the latest patch, it's down below. There's a link in the description. And it's a bit more complicated. There's a couple more steps you need to do to install this patch. So please pay close attention to the instructions. It's still really simple. It's just a couple more steps, and I think a couple people got confused by that. But yeah, be sure to read those directions. All right, so in this battle, well, it's actually a really cool battle, guys, because it plays out really interesting. It's got a nice little like cav fight and just really intense artillery stuff going on, so it's gonna be pretty great. Also, the terrain is really interesting for this battle. There's lumps and bumps everywhere, so it's gonna make for a very nice uneven battlefield. And also, look at this cliff right here. Look at this. This is fantastic. Now, of course, I'm not going to actually be able to use this during the battle, but I like stuff like that. It makes it a lot more interesting. So with the new patch, they added a bunch of new units, not any new factions, but they did make the unit or the faction rosters a bit more diverse. So there's a much broader selection of troops, and you're going to see some of those new troops in today's battle. So on one side, I am commanding the Kievan Rus, and my ally, he is commanding the Hungarians. And on the other side, we're facing two armies of the Holy Roman Empire. So let's go ahead and check out these army comps. So starting with my army, I've got 2 units of the British Axemen, which I'm pretty sure is a new unit to the game. I'm so glad they added them. Such a sexy unit there, and they're very expensive. So I expect them to do very well in today's battle. I also have, I think, 2 units or a unit of dismounted northern boyars. These guys are pretty good. Another new unit. There's also another elite infantry, which I didn't get, but they're called westernized infantry. So yeah, that's the elite infantry I have here. For my archers, I've got some dismounted boyar sons. So pretty cool. I think it's a new archer unit. And then the heart of my infantry is right here. I've got the Suzdale infantry. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mispronounced it, but they're not super elite, but they're not super bad. So I'm hoping that they can hold the battle line in this fight. And that's pretty much it for my infantry. Here's more British Axemen. Very cool. I think, oh wait, my spearmen. I got 2 spears. I've got the Rus heavy spearmen. And for my cav, I don't have a ton of cav, but they're very elite. I have 2 units of the northern boyars. Nice lancer cav, and then I have this elite cav, which I don't remember how to pronounce, so I'm not even gonna try, but it's the elite of the elite in the lancer cav department. And that's about it. Here's my general. So looking at the Hungarians, he's mostly bringing sergeants. He's got some pavis, spears, and he's got more sergeants in the back here. I think he has a mix, or actually no, it's all high period sergeants. Here is his general. And we have some crossbows over here, some pavis crossbowmen. And he has some spears over here, spear militia. They're going to help out in the cav engagement. And he has a lot of cav over here. He's got the Hungarian Knights, which is such an awesome cav unit. So he's going to be able to do a lot of damage with this knight unit. So pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and look at our opponents now. So yeah, as soon as this battle began, they just ran for the hills, which is a very common issue with this game because you have to press start right away and then deploy. So yeah, they're definitely going to go for a nice hill defense over here. So it's going to be a little bit challenging, but I'm always down for a challenge. So this first army is bringing a lot, or actually 2 units of mounted crossbowmen, or crossbow sergeants. And then he's got some dismounted or just standard crossbow sergeants early period. And then for his infantry, he has sergeants high period. He has some mercenary Swiss halberdiers. And here's more sergeants high period. He has 2 units. Oh, look how cool these guys are. 2 units of the pavis spears. Always great at holding the line. And then he's got a lot of just mounted sergeants, which is a low tier cav. And then he's got 2 units of the more elites. Well, actually, this is his general, the Emperor's Guard. But he also has 2 elite units of the Imperial Knights. And just look at those uniforms. That is a very nice unit. So that's his army. The next army is actually really elite, but really small. So he's got these sergeants late period. Look at these guys. They're well equipped, well trained, ready to go. He has his general right here, the Emperor's Guard, again, late period. Very nice armor there. And then he's got some Pavi's crossbowmen. He's got some more sergeants, late periods. There's tons and tons of sergeants. He's got some men-at-arms in the mix as well. And he has some heavy cav over here, the Imperial Knights late period. Oh my goodness. You know, I love the late period because they're super fancy with this, you know, the fancy armor. But the high period just looks so much cooler. But yeah, I was a little, to be honest, I was a little frustrated with their deployment here. I was like, what is going on? I was ready to go. I was like, you guys ready to attack? Because I'm not going to camp on this hill. I'm going. So I just said, you know what, guys, just go. Because they kept telling me they weren't ready. So I was like, let's do this. I'm attacking. I'm not waiting for you to camp on a hill. So we're moving in. So I'm going to be pretty aggressive here, moving up my front line. And I'm going to go for those trees right over there. So Kievan Rus, one of my favorite factions in the game, just because they're so unique. They have a very unique style. You know, a lot of the Western factions all look pretty similar, but Kievan Rus, you know, they do them. You know, they have their own taste. Their own taste for blood. Alright, so we got some cav moving in here from the Holy Roman Empire. He's going to try to skirmish my forces over here. He's got his mounted crossbow sergeants. I do have a small force awaiting that cav flank because, you know, there's a lot of cav over there. So I've got my spear militia over here, and I also have some of my dismounted boyar sons. I'm going to leave them behind to protect my flank, and they're getting in position right behind the spears. I'm actually going to move them forward a little bit, try to get them in range, and try to skirmish down these crossbows, who are now moving forward, getting into position. We're going to probably have to do some slow-mo here and there every once in a while, because this battle does get intense on multiple fronts, so I don't want to miss any of the action. But yeah, my crossbows, they are now in position. Oh, actually, these aren't crossbows. I'm sorry. My archers are now in position, but they won't fire. Look at this. Look, what is that? What is that? They gotta move and fire? They just would not sit still and just fire. I guess they were just too afraid to sit still because of the crossbows from the cav. But yeah, I'm gonna fall back because he is charging some of his knights in, his mounted sergeants. I have some knights coming over this way as well, trying to protect my archers. He didn't really get, actually, he didn't get any kills there, so that was a great start. A great retreat from me, early start, or I should say lucky start for my archers there. But I am moving up my infantry, and we do have some artillery fire coming down to my position. So yeah, he's holding the hill, he's firing his artillery. My men, my poor troops, burning alive. I told them not to pour gasoline on themselves, but they just, I guess it's just a, you know, a traditional thing they do in Kievan Rus. I don't know, they're crazy over there. They're insane. But no, yeah, I'm just getting harassed by this artillery, and it's not a good start. Oh no, my Drazina, or not Drazina, my Burdish Axemen, they're so expensive. It sucks to lose units like that to artillery. You know, I would rather them die in hand-to-hand combat or you know, melee combat. But yeah, this is a pretty rough start from my side here. We'll go ahead and zoom out here, see what's going on. Alright, so yeah, he's being really patient over here, but he's staying on the flank. Now he's moving in with all of his horses here. He's got 2 mounted sergeants and 2 units of crossbow sergeants. So there they go, moving in, trying to harass my forces. My ally also sent over some spears. You can see them back there. So he's going to support me, hold this, you know, support me against this flank. And now the Holy Roman Empire, he's repositioned down on this position. So he kind of gave up the hill, which is good to see. But he's now moving up his crossbows. And I told my ally, I was like, look, dude, we got to attack. We got to double team someone here. Let's go for the guy who's on the hill. And then that would get his ally to come down from the other hill. But unfortunately, my ally was a little bit slow on the maneuvering here. But we do have some cav charging him. Imperial Knights going for the sergeants. And, oh, my goodness. Great charge there. Actually glitched there a little bit. It, you know, lagged there. But yeah, that was a great charge by the Imperial Knights. He's going to do some cycle charges, fall back. That was a good shield wall, too, by the Hungarian player. He did a great job of, you know, saving some lives there and preventing him from getting, you know, too many kills. And more shots, more artillery coming down in my position. Look at the blood all over the battlefield. Not a good start for my forces. And I'm just losing infantry left and right. But I'm so focused on this flank. And we do have, okay, we need to do slow motion here. We do have a cav engagement here. We have a charge from the Holy Roman Empire. Now, he has more cav than me, but I have better cav. So this is going to be really, really challenging. And it's just a battle of counter flanks. I outflank him, then he outflanks me, and then I outflank that outflank. So it gets really, really interesting here really fast. And we just have a massive brawl right next to my archers. I am now sending over my general just in case I need to throw him into the fight. And we have more cav coming into the battle. He's using wedge formation, which should give his cav a bit of a buff charging into this this massive cav fight. Also, we had a cav charge over on this side. He's running down some of my infantry. I'm so focused on the other side, you know, micromanaging. So that was a good teamwork there, good teamwork maneuver. I'm now charging in my British axemen into the fight and trying to protect my infantry and cut down these Imperial Knights. It's not, again, not a great start, but I am throwing in some infantry over here as well. So I've got, let's see, got my general, and then I got some dismounted northern boyars who are charging in. So trying to support my cav in this fight because I am outnumbered. We'll go ahead and do normal speed here. Just look at this fight. This is awesome. I am also firing arrows into the big blob. Remember, it's mostly his forces in here, so it's going to be all right. I have my archers focusing down his horse crossbows here, crossbow sergeants here. They are breaking, so that wasn't too much of a challenge. And now I'm sending down my spears quickly to try to support my cav in their struggle because they are certainly struggling. Now over on this side, we got all kinds of stuff going on over here. So let's do slow-mo again. Looks like we have some sergeants cutting down some Imperial Knights. Look at that. Dismounted. Punk. So great stab there. We do have some infantry fighting off the Hungarian Knights. So yeah, the Hungarian Knights, oh yes, they're charging in. Look at that, beautiful shot right there. Running down those Holy Roman Empire Knights, those Roman Knights, I guess I could say. I know that will trigger some people, but I will say it for convenience sake. And more artillery coming in. He's trying to go after the blob of infantry over here. And it looks like we're going to get pretty lucky, and he's going to miss most of my troops. Yep, that didn't do any damage there. Ah, well, that guy died randomly. That seemed a little delayed. Alright, so more cav battles going on over here. Still a very huge fight, very tough fight. It's really challenging to see what's going on, you know, like who's who. Just look for the bright yellow, that's the Holy Roman Empire. But you can see here that his troops are breaking. They're mounted sergeants. Remember, mounted sergeants are not that good, so they're not a huge concern. We do have a cav charge coming in into my archers. So he is using his mounted sergeants here pretty aggressively. And now he's charging in some of his sergeants late period into my forces. So we're going to get ready for an infantry battle. And we do have a lot of infantry fighting on this side. The Hungarians now engaging the Holy Roman Empire. And their battle has really taken off here. My battle, it's really just a huge cav battle. So we'll do some slow-mo once again, just so we can really sit back and enjoy this fight. See some duels, see some brave men take some lives. And then we have a cav charge. Oh, nice use of the Hungarian Knights running down the Pavese crossbowmen. That's what I like to see. See, the big issue here that I think the Holy Roman Empire made is even though he outnumbers me with his cav, my cav is way better at fighting in melee. So they're going to do a better job. So the best thing he should, well, really what he should have done is use the mounted sergeants. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Mounted sergeants as more of a light cav, just going in, going after archers, and then retreating, because it's going to be really challenging for me to contain them because I don't have as much cav as him. But instead, they got stuck in melee, and I'm going to try to use that to my advantage and hopefully beat them in melee. So back to normal speed. We do have some infantry joining the fight now. So he's trying to turn the tide of this cav battle. And he might be too late, though, because you can see a lot of wavering from his cav. And now we have more cav from the trees coming in. They're actually charging the back of his own Swiss halberdiers, which is not good. My archers, again, are just focusing down. Actually, what are they doing? Where are you going, archers? Look, they're firing in that direction, but the arrows are going this way. That's great. So, yeah, I'm firing down at this huge blob because there's just so many enemies. Sure, I'll probably kill some of my own men, but I will most certainly kill some of theirs as well. So that's the kind of leader I'm going to be today. That's just something I have to do to get victory. All right, so let's see what's going on in other parts. We do have some infantry fighting over here. So now I have engaged most of my infantry, taking on these sergeants late period. And I have outflanked him with my infantry because he doesn't have enough troops to contain all of my units. My archers are falling back. They're getting a little too close to the front line, which is okay because, you know, they're dismounted boyar sons and they are pretty good at melee, but I don't want to lose them yet. I want them to use up all their ammo before they go into melee. And then over on this side, there's still a very intense fight between the Hungarian sergeants and the Holy Roman Empire sergeants. The Roman sergeants. And we got a flank here. The men-at-arms with the Zweihander and the pole arms and the great axes flanking around, going around the sergeants. So that might be pretty huge for the Holy Roman Empire. They definitely need to do that to turn this battle around. But the Hungarian knights, man, they are up here causing trouble, taking out so many of the Holy Roman Empire's forces and being a real pain. Excuse me. We also have a cav charge over here in the sergeant's late period. So he's using those Hungarian knights very well, very aggressively. That is good to see. And this fight is extremely close. But you can see the balance of power is slowly shifting over to my favor. And now this battle has kind of turned into just a big infantry battle. Most of the cav from my side and the Holy Roman Empire side, they have been defeated. And my archers, check this out, guys. My archers are up on this slight slope, just focusing down his cav reserve over here. And look at all of the dead knights, all because of my dismounted boyar sons. They're doing a great job, and this unit is breaking off the battlefield. He's got another unit returning from breaking. He's going to go for a charge. I also have another unit returning from breaking. We got a nice cav charge into the forces here. Fantastic. And again, I'm just slowing them down so my archers can clean up this mess. You can see that he's got a lot of infantry focusing down over here. I still have a lot of knights coming back to the battle. A lot of cav over here. Again, I'm just slowing them down, letting my archers get all the kills. My spears are holding that front line and doing an excellent job at taking out these knights. But the battle is still going on in the forest over here. Things are looking really well for my side because I now have these sergeants completely surrounded. Unfortunately, I do have some troops breaking over here, but they've been breaking this entire time. They haven't really been doing anything. And we have more Hungarian sergeants moving in. So the weird thing that the Hungarian player did is that he sent in his army in waves, but because he was so effective with his Hungarian knights, that was okay. Because his Hungarian knights, they have just been cleaning up this battlefield. Like, it's insane. I mean, look at them. They're just covered in blood, racking up some kills. And now that we have a great charge coming in, going after these Pavis crossbowmen from the armored sergeants. Nice general charge, trying to slow down. That was awesome. Trying to slow down the sergeants of the Hungarian sergeants. The fighting's still going on over here. Let's see what's going on here. My troops are breaking. Look at this. He is defeating my infantry, but that's okay because I still have some cav and I still have some archers, and I'm actually going to charge. I'm going to get in tight formation and take on these Pavis spearmen here. And there goes my dismounted boyar sons going into melee. Excellent. I love using versatile cav there, or archers. Versatile archers. And now we got a nice cav fight going on here. Again, his general is located over here. You can see the star above the general. And I'm focusing all of my archer fire. Also, my ally has some crossbows positioned over here as well. He's racking up kills. So this is a really good position for us because of this slight slope. We can really just cut down his forces from afar. And he really needs to send some infantry back over into the forest because I am just destroying his infantry over here. We got some sergeants, high period sergeants. They will be no match to my my British axemen. So we got him surrounded here. Let's do some slow motion here. See what's going on in other parts of the battle. We can see that the Hungarians are really taking control of this fight. We have a nice last stand from the men-at-arms of the Holy Roman Empire. And we've got some troops over here, some sergeants late period putting up a last stand. And the crossbows are about to get charged. Look at this. Look at this. You can see the sun in the background over the hill. How terrifying would it it would just be awful seeing thousands of armored sergeants coming down to take you out, especially if you're a crossbow unit. So that is not good for the Holy Roman Empire. We'll do normal speed. So there's that front line. But they're going to stand their ground. They're not going to break instantly. And we have my allies general. He's just looking for, you know, flanks to charge. And this is what's left of the battle. My ally's doing an excellent job. I'm doing pretty well, just focusing down his forces. This is where he makes a huge mistake here. He doesn't keep moving. You've got to keep moving when you're taking on archers, because I'm just going to sit back and focus them down. Look at this. Every volley I'm taking out at least 10, 20 men, and his troops will surely break after a while of, you know, suppressing fire, because they're losing so many of their troops here. So they're going to finally march forward, but, you know, I don't really care because I'll just kite them. I'll just keep running away because his cav is dead. You know, that's why you got to try to have some cav late game so you can run down enemy archers, because they can be a real pain. Here comes the general, though, charging in. This is what I'm talking about, being aggressive with the general, running down my my archer unit, but that's okay. You know, go ahead, get your general into the mix, because I'm going to go ahead and send my general. He's located over here. Well, he's actually, I don't know where he's going. There he goes. Well, let's watch his point of view as he runs through the forest. So yeah, I'm going to send them over to support my archers over there. Get him into the fight. My general's actually seen some action already. He actually got a really good cav charge on some of the enemy infantry. There we go. Now they're fighting. Now they're doing battle. And it's looking pretty good. Look at it. The general is almost dead. He lost most of his bodyguard. And if we kill the general, I think it's safe to say that we've won this one. Look at the balance of power. It is pretty obvious that this is way in our favor. Yes, shameful display. Our sergeants, his sergeants, high period, trying to take on some of the spear militia, the Hungarian spear militia. Here comes my general going for a charge, trying to give him a taste of his own medicine, going after these crossbows he left undefended, getting some juicy revenge, and that's causing him to break instantly, or almost instantly. They are wavering. There we go. There they break off the battlefield, and he's trying to run in his Pavi spears, but remember, these guys are so heavily armored. They're very slow, and they are not going to be able to catch up to my general. Now my general is moving on to the next archer unit, helping out my allies' cav. We are down to the last minute of this battle, and what a great fight. It was really all over the place. Just trying to fight on multiple flanks, because that one Hungarian player really just flanking around with his cav and doing an excellent job. But I think his biggest mistake was just engaging all of his cav at once, because I could really pin them down and beat them in a prolonged melee. So now we're just taking out this lone unit of Pavis spears. They're making a nice like back-to-back circle formation, and just look at the horde of forces coming in. Pretty awesome. So this is how this battle is gonna end. Look at that formation. That is awesome. But yeah, they're only gonna hold on for so long, and that is going to wrap up today's battle. It is a close victory. Very good job to my ally. Let's go ahead and look at the end results. So my archers pretty much won the day for me, most of them getting about 100, some a little bit less, like 61, 90. My British axemen, I didn't do that great with my infantry, honestly, because I wasn't really focused on my infantry. A lot of the times they were, you know, charged by cav or hit by artillery. Some of them did pretty well, like 143 from this infantry. British 117, 90. This one got 2, which is not good for the price. My spears didn't do that great, but my cav did pretty well as well. My general did pretty well. Looking at my ally, again, look at this. The Hungarian knights, so deadly, getting tons of kills there. His sergeants, again, a very tough unit, getting tons of kills. And yeah, really his knights and his infantry won the day for his army. Looking at the opponents, by the way, my opponent, or my ally, is Korza, and my opponents, we have Theonson and UT player. So here's their stats. You can see them here. He had such a small army, a little too small, I think. You gotta micro well with the small army. which is kind of funny to say that because you'd think you would have to micro more with a larger army, but you also have to get some good cav charges if you're going to have a smaller army. But yeah, it did not pay off this day. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I appreciate it. If you did like it, be sure to leave a like, a comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time.